morning. Welcome to another day on the John Muir Way. We are back in Strathblane this morning. It's been 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks since we did the previous section, and we've taken the train into Glasgow, bus to Strathblane this morning, and we are starting here, just coming on to the railway path. This section today is going to take us around about 15 miles from here in Strathblane over to Croy. Now this section is going to be a bit of a treat for us for a number of reasons. First and foremost, it should be relatively flat, especially compared to the first two sections of the John Muir Way. This one is mostly along old railway lines, canal towpath, this section and the next section in fact. So we are expecting this to be a little bit less challenging for us than the previous two sections. Now the other reason that today's route is a bit of a treat is it is fairly local for us. Although we're starting here in Strathblane, this section of the John Muir Way ends in Croy, which is pretty much our local train station. So we are pretty much just walking home at this point. Look at this. On that last stage I would have sold my soul for a bench. I've now been walking for 10 minutes and now there's a bench here. An 8 out of 10. I think it would be better if it was facing the other way, because yeah, that view is a lot better. I don't specifically need a seat right now, but it's the principle of the thing. If there's a bench, I'm going to sit in it. You never know when the next one will be. Do you know what curse Ross has just uttered? What words have just come out of his mouth? Repeat what you just said.
We can't possibly get lost in it.
Who says that while out walking? Who says that? We're obviously going to get lost now. This is so far proven to be a really pleasant stretch of the John Muir Way. It is very unvarying in terms of the terrain. It is still just the old railway path all the way along here. We've just passed through Milton of Campsie, and it's really fascinating to see what's left of these old railway lines, and you can see what would have been station platforms at one time or another. Just a lot to see and discover on this route. We're now just around a mile outside Kirkintilloch. We're going to stop in Kirkintilloch for some lunch. We're probably just going to jump into the McDonald's. But yeah, so far a really pleasant and relaxing walk. Now if you're in this type of walk and you're in it for the challenge, this is probably going to be one of your least favourite stretches, because it is a super easy, pretty much a walk in the park, straight all the way. But for me it's been really relaxing and pleasant. Lots to see in terms of the flora and fauna. Lots of sheep, lots of lambs, lots of dogs. There's one's just passing me just now. Hello. So yeah, so far it's probably been the most consistently enjoyable part of this walking challenge. Let's see if that continues all the way through to the end. Yeah, the weather's it has taken a turn for the worse, you could say, but we go on. We refuelled at McDonald's with some chicken nugs, some french fries. Ross's local McDonald's once upon a time. We are in your neck of the woods, are we not?
We are indeed, back home in Kirkintilloch. Now we're just entering Twecker.
Yeah, we've walked from Kirkintilloch. We left the Strathkelvin railway path and we've walked down here onto the Forth and Clyde Canal, and this is now the canal towpath that will run predominantly for the next kind of 2 sections of the John Muir Way. We're just approaching Twecker shortly, so it's been about 3 miles since Kirkintilloch, and then it's another 3, maybe 4 miles back to Croy. At some point I am hoping it stops raining a little bit, just a little bit. I'm not asking for a summer's day, just a little bit drier, that's all I ask. Here on Twecker Bridge, some handy things for the cyclists among us. You have cycle pod repair. You can see it's got various bits: pedal spanner, adjustable spanner, Allen keys. So if you are on the Forth and Clyde Canal coming out this way, or if you're doing the John Muir Way on the cycle route, that's quite a handy thing. Now we're just passing Twecker, and this is where we are doing things a little bit differently today. I can't remember whether I've mentioned it before, but for the John Muir Way it has both the walking route and the cycle route. For a lot of the John Muir Way those will be the same, but there are sections like the one we're on just now where the cycle route takes a different way to the walking route. Now had we been doing the rest of the walking route today, we would have actually gone uphill and up and over Bar Hill, and that's where we would have had some of the Roman history, the Roman fort, parts of the Antonine Wall. Now don't worry, we are going to show you that. We're not going to do it today because the weather is rubbish. It's not the best for newbies going uphill. We're going to save that for a dry day, and we'll pop it in at the end of this footage so that you can get to see what the rest of the walking route would look like. But we are going to take the easier option today. We're going to do the rest of the route into Kilsyth on the cycle route, which will keep us along the canal towpath rather than going up and over the hill. There's lots of sections along the way you can do this. There will be sections of the walking route that just aren't suitable for cyclists to go over. I'm sure if they really want a challenge they will, but there is usually a less steep route for the cycle path. So we're just going to continue to follow the cycle route of the John Muir Way, probably just the rest of the way then, into Kilsyth and onto Croy. Guys! Highland cows! Highland cows! Minor content capturing tragedy. In a series of unfortunate events, we have lost the button that controls the zoom function on the camera, so you can probably only see those Highland cows in the distance. Highland cows! When I tell you I have walked along this canal, dragging my feet, going I'm tired, it's miserable, it's raining. When I saw those Highland cows, I ran. I haven't ran in 12 years, but I ran to see that Highland cow. That's it, best day ever. Oh look, there's more! very important updates. It has stopped raining, and right up ahead there we have Quarry, which means we're in the final stages. This section technically ends around about Marina, and then we'll just be moving on a little bit further down the road to Croy train station. And just like that, it's a few days later. As you can hopefully see, slightly better weather. We're just over a week since we filmed the last section, and we've decided to come out this evening after we've finished work for the day, and we're going to look at the parts of the John Muir Way on this section that we actually missed. Now, we are doing this backwards because we're coming from a different direction. This time we've parked at Croy train station, and we're going to come up over Bar Hill backwards from the way we would have come if we'd done the walking route. You can hopefully already see we've got some really good views here. And here we're also getting a little bit of a preview of what's coming next. On the next section that we're due to start walking this coming weekend, we will actually be headed up and over the hill that you can see just over there past that tree. That's Croy Hill, but that's next week's problem. Let's do this one first. This is a piece of devastating news that we've just had. There are two ways to scale Bar Hill. Up the trail to your left is the rock-cut ditch of the Antonine Wall that rises steeply, keyword steeply, to sweep past an Iron Age hill fort before reaching the Roman fort. To your right is the gentler military way. Note to self, read the signs on the way up, not on the way down. In the interest of full disclosure, I myself did not make it to the top of Bar Hill. I made it just over halfway up before giving up. I was looking for a more diplomatic way to say that, but I frankly just sat down on the side of the hill and said that was as far as I was willing to go this evening. Ross, you did make it, didn't you?
I did.
Okay, so this is where things went a little bit off plan on the previous section. When we got to this point last time, we went this way, which took us to quite that steep section, which we thought was taking us up Bar Hill, but was actually taking us up Castle Hill. So this time we are going to go the way we should have gone, which is along this path here. So we're just starting to get a better sense of what this would have looked like had we come up and over this way on the first day doing this section. We can just see from the way markers here for the John Muir Way, you know, we've just come up this hill here, so we've come the kind of shortcut up just to get to this part of the trail. Now if we'd come up over this way when we started in Strathblane, we would have been coming from this direction over here. Hopefully not swinging round too fast. but we would have come up and over the hill over here. And then once we got to this section, this is the route where it would rejoin the actual John Muir Way. We'd be going down this section, and at that point up and over Castle Hill and down the side that we came down the other day. So it may have taken 3 attempts, but we are where we wanted to be to see this section of the route. And this is where it's starting to make a little bit more sense to me, because just down the hill you can see the canal. Now that's where we were walking along last week, obviously just a few minutes ago in the video, and we just kept going along the canal, which would take us all along under the hill. But if we had continued along the walking route, we would have come up the hill, which hopefully you can just see over here. We would have come up the hill and it would have brought us up here to the fort. So that pretty much brings us to the conclusion of section 3 of the John Muir Way. The last thing I wanted to tell you about, and I don't think we've spoken about, is if you're doing this walk, remember to pick up your little passport. Now you can pick the passport up at a variety of locations along the walking trail. We'll just get Ross to model it here. And as you can see, pretty much the main purpose is for me to collect stamps. You can get this stamped at lots of different locations as you're walking along the John Muir Way. We picked the passport up at the start over there in Helensburgh, where they kindly stamped that first section for us. I think the passport costs £5. You can get it stamped as you're going along. It also entitles you to a discount in a lot of participating businesses along the John Muir Way. So for me, a cool little souvenir. I can't wait to see all of these sections completed. As you can see, we've already had our stamp for section 3 completed. Next up is going to be the 4th section, which is going to be here in Croy / Coolscythe, and that's going to take us along the Forth and Clyde Canal over to Falkirk. So that's it for section 3 of the John Muir Way. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, share, subscribe, all the usual stuff. You know what to do. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.